Before I produce any more videos, I thought I'd post a little introduction to me in this channel. My name is Dan, and I'm a Deist. This channel will deal mainly with my own personal views about God, religion, philosophy, and other related subjects. So what is Deism? Deism is the belief in God or some kind of supreme being or power based on reason and observation of the universe. Deists reject the ideas of divine intervention, revealed religion, and holy books. Generally, deists believe that God set the universe in motion at the Big Bang with all of its laws. What God's relationship with the universe is now is a mystery. Whether this supreme being stepped back from it to observe or to work in subtle ways behind the scenes is not truly known or dictated. And there are many different opinions on the subject. It's my personal opinion that at some point in our evolution, God gave us an immaterial intellect that separates us from the other animals. Deists believe we should use this God-given reasoning ability to live out our lives to the fullest and to create laws and moral ethical principles based on the principle of natural law, which basically states that all men and women are created equal and have certain rights inherent to our existence: life, liberty, property, as John Locke put it. Well, who am I? Well, I don't want to give away too much so as to protect my identity, as the subject matter dealt with on this channel and the position I'm taking in the content has been known to bring out the religious fanatics and all sorts of other trolls. I know of one YouTube movie reviewer who's gotten death threats for saying he didn't like The Lion King, so I can only imagine what happens when someone starts talking about religion. I will say this much: I'm a college student majoring in biology and planning on going to medical school. I'm in my mid-20s, and I work with the developmentally disabled. It took me several years to get where I am today spiritually. I was raised in the Southern Baptist Church from birth. You know, where dancing, drinking an alcoholic beverage, or buying a lottery ticket are sins. My entire family is Southern Baptist. In my teen years, I was heavily involved with my church's youth group, even leading the praise band every week. In my late teens, I started to question some of the church doctrine, still assuming the Bible to be true. I questioned why most people in the church weren't following the teachings in it. I mean, Jesus taught that we should keep the law in Matthew 5. So why didn't the church do it? Why didn't we keep the Sabbath on the seventh day? I saw no evidence that it had been changed to the first day, either by divine decree or by any of the apostles. So why were they keeping it on the first day of the week? None of these questions could be legitimately answered by anyone. There were others, but suffice it to say, I left the church. Eventually I started questioning the Trinity and Jesus' godhood. And while I still believed him to be the Messiah, I did not accept his divinity. Well, at this point, I went from being considered a misguided believer to being completely shunned and told I was no longer saved because I was denying the deity of Christ. I was going straight to hell, according to my former church friends and their leaders. Even my own family was very concerned for my salvation. So I started looking into the Old Testament a lot more. And eventually I rejected Jesus as the Messiah altogether. Just based on the evidence at hand, I didn't accept it anymore. He didn't fulfill the prophecies, and he didn't return in the time span that he said he would. So, to make a long story short, I went through several sects of Judaism after this: Orthodox Judaism, even a lesser-known sect called Karaite Judaism. I was really just seeking answers. And through all this, I had several nagging questions in the back of my mind that couldn't seem to be answered by anyone. I would read things in scripture that didn't make sense scientifically or historically, and some things that seemed morally abhorrent, but would brush them off, or even embrace some of it, because how could God be wrong? And the scriptures must be divinely inspired, right? Well, as I began to study history, specifically American history, eventually I stumbled upon a quote by Thomas Jefferson. Question with boldness even the existence of a God, because if there be one, he must more approve of the homage of reason than that of blindfolded fear. I considered this statement for a long time. I had been taught all my life that faith was supposed to answer all my questions. I had never really thought of this before. I followed Jefferson's advice. I decided after much study and reasoning that there had to be a creator to this universe and all the complex laws that govern it, and that was God. Now, you may say, all you atheists out there, that there is no scientific proof for the existence of God or any higher power in the universe. And I would agree with you. Scientifically, it can't be proven or disproven. My belief in God is more based on a philosophical reasoning than science. I'll go into the philosophical arguments for the existence of God in another video, but for now I'd say the best book I've seen arguing for the existence of God is How to Think About God by Mortimer Adler. There's also a chapter on the subject in his later book, How to Think About the Great Ideas. I actually didn't even know I was a deist at first, until I started reading about it on the internet. I found a site called Modern Deism and thought, oh, so that's what I am. So about this channel. You'll see lots of stuff on here about the Bible and all the problems with it. I'll get into some philosophical things on here, which may not represent the views of other deists. I consider this channel to be my perspective on things. And that's really what deism is, a personal philosophy, not a dogmatic religion. Each of us is encouraged to use our reasoning and apply our own understanding, because as human beings we are free thinkers. I would ask that each of you watching my YouTube channel open your minds and think. If you disagree, that's fine. And if you want to discuss your thoughts, please do so in a civil and rational manner. If I see any comments on my page or on any of my videos that are hurtful or seem to be attacking anyone personally, they will be removed. But I will not censor anyone who wants to discuss things in a rational manner. Anyway, I hope whoever's watching will get something positive out of the content on this channel. Whatever you do, don't be afraid to question what you've been taught with boldness. So thanks for listening, and I hope you subscribe and keep watching.